Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, of the internet. This is Rock and Roll Slot Comanche with the Weekly TV Roundup. Started a few days late. I was feeling a bit under the weather Wednesday and also had some family engagements as well. But anyways, we're here with this week's, just like a few days late. We'll start off with last week's episode of Arrow. Roy has been arrested for being the Arrow, which leads to Ollie's release as the DA decides not to charge him with any crimes. While Team Arrow plots to break Roy out of prison, Roy must fend off attacks from other prisoners. Also, they are having to deal with a metahuman named Jake Simmons, which causes Ollie to enlist Ray's help. The first attempt to take down Simmons does not entirely go too well. However, the second attempt, wherein Ray and Ollie use a neural network, actually works out pretty well. Until the network goes down and Ray has to take Simmons down on his own, which he manages to do and then leaves him in the care of Star Labs. Also, Captain Lance gets a warrant to search Verdant, finds the Arrow Cave, but only finds Roy's fingerprints and no one else's. In prison, Roy faces murder with the help of a former Argus agent, leading to Roy having to leave the city. Raish visits Thea, and the two briefly fight. When the fight is over, Raish mortally wounds Thea with his sword and leaves. Flashback, Ollie goes after Waller and learns that she didn't send anyone after him, Maseo and Tatsu, but rather General Shreve did, as he plans to use the virus on Hong Kong. Ollie, Maseo, and Tatsu steal the vaccine as well as Shreve's plan to infect the city. Moving on to this week's episode of Flash. Barry and Eddie track down a shapeshifter named Hannibal Bates, who ends up turning into Eddie and framing him for murder. Bates later assumes Barry's form and almost kills Iris and Caitlin until Professor Wells stops him. After Bates escapes custody, of course he would, Caitlin makes a serum to suppress his power, enabling Barry to capture Bates and clear Eddie's name. Meanwhile, in Starling City, Cisco and Joe investigate the scene of Wells' car crash, which claimed the life of his fiancée. The pair, with help from Captain Lance, find a buried corpse nearby. A series of tests reveals that corpse to be the body of Harrison Wells. Barry, Cisco, and Caitlin later on find Wells/Dawn's secret room at Star Labs, along with the Reverse Flash costume and the future newspaper article about the Flash's disappearance during a crisis. Moving on to this week's episode of Gotham. The Ogre threatens Gordon if he doesn't stop investigating the murders. Bruce and Selina attend a Wayne Enterprises charity ball with Barbara. While there, Selina steals keys from one of the board members that hired Reggie. Penguin allies himself with an Irish mob boss in his quest to kill Maroni. Maroni tells Penguin's mother that her son is a killer while making an appearance at the club. Penguin then tells Maroni that Maroni will pay for that. Eddie tries to protect the object of his infatuation/obsession and ends up stabbing her boyfriend to death. Gordon, Bullock, and Essen manage to identify the Ogre, only for Gordon to realize that the Ogre is going after Barbara, as he knows Gordon through a charity function he went to a while back with Barbara. Unknown to Gordon, Barbara's at the Ogre's apartment and being shown as BDSM later. Moving on to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from this week. Fitz manages to hook up with Coulson, Hunter, and Deathlock, who tell Fitz their plan to find Skye. Recruit Ward. The quartet capture Ward and Agent 33 in Tijuana and plan to infiltrate Hydra in exchange for wiping Ward's memories. Coulson and crew learn that Hydra leader Dr. List has been following Gordon with plans to capture him. At the Inhuman Enclave, Jiang banishes Cal, though Skye goes with him in the hopes of keeping him from harming innocents, and also calls the base for help. Hydra attacks the Enclave and captures Lincoln, who was in fact spying on Skye and Cal. Gordon teleports Skye and Cal away just before Skye was to be reunited with Coulson. With nothing else really to do, no other choice in what to do, Coulson turns himself in to Bobby and Mac. Now, this is the week's episode of Game of Thrones. Arya arrives in Braavos and gets accepted into the House of Black and White, which will begin her training. Cersei sends Jaime to Dorne to bring back Princess Marcella. Along the way, Jaime recruits Braun and gets him out of his engagement to Lawless Stokeworth. Podrick recognizes Littlefinger and Sansa, leading Brienne to try and convince Sansa to come with her, and of her loyalty to Sansa's mother. A confrontation ensues, and Brienne ends up killing one of Littlefinger's men. Jon Snow is offered legitimacy as well as Winterfell if he bends the knee to Stannis. However, Sam nominates Jon for Lord Commander, which wins with the deciding vote being cast by Maester Aemon, making Jon's mind up for him. Daenerys is faced with a ride after executing his former slave for killing a captured son of the Harpy. Drogon shows up when Daenerys is overlooking the city. And finally, the season finale of Scorpion opens with the crash from the previous episode while Walter remembers arguments between him and Cabe as well as him and Paige. The team tries to figure out where Walter is. Meanwhile, Cabe quits Homeland while Paige and Ralph pack for a trip to Portland. The team manages to find Walter, though the car he is in is very close to falling 300 feet down a mountainside. Happy and Toby get arrested for how they deal with the first responders to the crash site. Cabe arrives on site and takes charge. Kind of just playing the whole I'm Homeland and showing off what looks like a badge. And only letting the team know that he's no longer with Homeland Security. The car's oil pan catches fire, and Happy and Sylvester manage to drain the car's fuel. However, the loss in weight causes the car to shift, making Walter's wound worse. Toby manages to talk Walter through cauterizing the wound, however, so he's not bleeding out anymore, or bleeding in as well. At the airport, Paige and Ralph learn of Ralph's predicament, Walter's predicament, and head to join the rest of the team. Happy comes up with a plan to save Walter, which works pretty much in the nick of time. At the hospital, the team talk with Walter before he's doped up for the night. After the rest of the team leaves, with Ralph in the care of Happy and Toby, Paige tells an unconscious Walter she cares about him after also kissing him. And in all honesty, that's probably going to be the last recap we have for Scorpion, as that old disaster weekend just doesn't do it for me. Anyway, we should be back with the TV roundup for next week. Will run on time. Then it will be followed within a few days by the first installment of Marvelous May, which will be my review of The Avengers: Age of Ultron. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media. Links to my Facebook and Twitter in the description down below. And this is Rock and Roll Spock signing off for now. As always, live long, rock hard.